Mrs. Honey's Hat, written by Pam Adams. Mrs. Honey had a hat. On Monday, she wore it when she took her grandson Peter to the park. She bought him some bubble gum and sat on a bench with her knitting. Peter thought, those arrow feathers would make my arrows fly better, so he pulled the feathers off the hat and his bubble gum stuck to the brim. But Mrs. Honey didn't notice. On Tuesday, Mrs. Honey wore her hat to visit a friend. They sat in the garden in the shade of a tree and ate cakes. On Wednesday, Mrs. Honey spent a day at the seaside. The sun shone and the water was just right for paddling. Mrs. Honey felt very happy. Afterwards, Mrs. Honey took off her hat and sat in the sun. A hermit crab thought, that show would make a nice new home. So he scuttled away with the shell and left some seaweed behind. But Mrs. Honey didn't notice. On Thursday, Mrs. Honey picked dandelions to make wine. It was very hard work. She took off her hat and put it on the fence. A cow in the field saw the hat on the fence. What beautiful big buttercups, she mooed. She took a mouthful and her bell fell onto Mrs. Honey's hat, but Mrs. Honey didn't notice. On Friday, Mrs. Honey went to see an old castle. Just look at those cobwebs, exclaimed Mrs. Honey. This place could do with a good clean. A big black spider dropped onto her hat. Hurrah, he said. This lace would make a good strong cobweb. So he hurried away with the lace and left all his old webs behind. But Mrs. Honey didn't notice. On Saturday, Mrs. Honey took her cat to a cat show. There were all sorts of fine cats, but she hoped that hers would win first prize. An alley cat saw Mrs. Honey's hat through the window. That ribbon might help me to win first prize, he thought. So he pulled it from the hat and left some fish bones behind. But Mrs. Honey didn't notice. On Sunday, Mrs. Honey went to church. Everyone seemed to be staring at her. Whatever can it be, she wondered. Perhaps it's time I bought a new hat. After the service, Mrs. Honey hurried home to look in the mirror. Then she noticed the bubble gum, the eggs, the seaweed, the bell, the cobwebs, and the fish bones. Goodness, she exclaimed, I've got a new hat. But she wasn't sure that she liked it. Thanks to David Jones, and visit my website jolinastories.com to find more wonderful stories. Thank you for listening.